But nah, you are on a roll. My bad, but you were explaining that their production and hype is great, but you were getting into the quality of the match. I run it back.
This is what I mean. Like the way they laid everything out and the way they made everybody play their position in that press conference. Nobody can do that like WWE does. They just lay it out all perfectly. Like they laid it out exactly how the boxing world would have laid it out, how UFC lays theirs out. Like they did it exactly how those guys do it, and that's exactly what AEW needs to take notes on.
And you could tell they had the structure to lay it out, but you could ultimately tell they were like, yo, you guys be yourselves. You go out there, be yourself, but tell a story while you're being yourself. Let these people know who you are. And I feel like if you've never watched wrestling before, you knew what Roman Reigns was about after watching that, and you knew what Logan Paul was about, and you understood the story of where they're taking this.
Right. But this is what I'm saying to you. We all know it's not a money fight.
Why not?
We all know that. No, Roman Reigns said it best. Dude, you're 2 fights in.
That doesn't not make it a money fight, bro. Come on, man.
In the wrestling world, you need more than that to get to boxing Roman Reigns.
Listen, you're right. You're right. Technically, in a very technical sense, you're absolutely right.
It's not like this dude's a Kurt Angle or a Brock Lesnar.
You're right. You're right in the very pure sense.
You know what I mean?
But this is 2022. You adapt to the times, and I think there's different ways to be a money match. I think you're a money match if you're at the main event level and you could increase the suspense and drama and tell us a competitive story. I think there's the money match where you could legitimately have a chance at winning the championship. We know Logan Paul's not going to be WWE champion, especially not now, but I think this is a money match in the sense that Roman Reigns, the face of the WWE, the hottest wrestler by a mile, for the past 2 to 3 years, is going to face with arguably one of the biggest names in combat sports and biggest YouTubers and podcasters. I think it's going to bring a lot of new eyeballs from Logan's brand, because this man's brand is bigger than people think, man. This guy's huge, and I think it's also gonna bring WWE fans over to Logan Paul's fan base. So it's almost like a trade-off, and I think this is, honestly, this is a layup, and this honestly feels a little cheap, but it's a smart name grab move for WWE. It's a smart name value big match because the names will sell this. And let's be honest, this is Saudi Arabia, man. This is damn near WrestleMania-esque paydays. And I think that they already sold that out. They sell those out no matter what. But I think the Logan Paul factor, it is going to get extra interest from people that normally don't give it a shot. And I think that's what this is mainly about. And man, I think he's gonna shock us with how he performs on that type of stage. I think he's looked really good in small doses, but let's be honest, we know he's not gonna win this, but I think considering the fact that we say it all the time, they're low on baby faces, they're low on fresh opponents. This is a good stopgap for Roman Reigns. It's a good detour for Roman Reigns. It's something different.
That's exactly where I was going to go with it next, too.
It's smart.
But that's where I was going to go with it next, too. In Roman Reigns, he's definitely at a level where he'll make anything look good.
Yeah.
He'll make anything. He can squeeze anything out of everything. He already showed it when he was doing it with his cousins, the Usos. Here's another problem. we all know Logan Paul, he's not gonna be the real money as a babyface.
I agree. I agree.
That's another real problem.
That it's a you could see that the crowd wants to make him an actual heel.
He's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
He's uncomfortable.
He's comfortable annoying people and getting under your skin.
He's been like that his whole life.
Yeah.
His whole entire life. So it's like, let's be serious here. You're taking him out of his element. I guess you could call it a placeholder, but we all know what it is. Like, this is just another testament to what we've been talking about for months. They're out. The well is out. It's out of water. There's nobody who can seriously threaten Roman's position right now on the way to Mania. Unless we can get Cody, unless we can get a miraculous appearance from somebody, they're out. The well is out. The fact that they picked Logan, that just shows they're out.
Well,
they're
to
out.
some extent, I think they picked Logan because, to be completely fair, the way Roman Reigns went on the podcast and they essentially used the podcast as a rollout for the match. You know how sometimes rappers cause beef with each other as a rollout for an album. That was smart how they used the show as kind of a rollout for the match. And I honestly, I think they doing the match to some extent. Yeah, it is because they just needed an opponent to fill in some time on our way to the bigger events. But I do think they would be stupid not to give this a try.
Not now. Not now. They would have been smarter not to give it a try.
The Saudi Arabia, let's be honest, it's a big event, but for the most part, it's an event it's kind of like a house show that just has a big spectacle production. For the most part, it's just an event because the Saudi Arabians don't really usually get that much shows, so it's kind of like a showcase event. And so it's not an event. It's not an event where we're supposed to see real big title changes like that. Anyway, let's be honest. So that's why it's a good time to use it. Why not use an event that's not known for big title changes to use it on a big star that could get you mainstream attention?
But here's why I'm going with it, Dave. Why instead of throwing Logan Paul in this type of fire, why are they so against using a triple threat format?
I agree.
Why are they so against using
it would make sense with the story they're telling to do Drew versus Roman versus Karrion. That would protect everybody involved. It's the three-way.
Instead of like leave Logan out, let him build himself up in this world. Because we all know he's far from ready for something like this.
But I think that's part of the story they're telling. We know he's a rookie. We know Roman is shrugging him off. You heard him like, yo, you can, yeah. He said you could be the third match on the card on any night I made a bet. Yeah, this is the deep waters here. And we know he hasn't got here, but it's that doubt, that little 1% that this name. It is a 1%.
There is no 1%.
Logan Paul's fan base is gonna buy into this man, and they're gonna believe in that 1%. Logan Paul's fan base, they don't know any better about booking and wrestling and how great Roman is. They just rooting for their guy.
They know how
really emotional,
but they know how Logan is, and Logan's not being Logan right now.
I agree to a certain extent. I agree to a certain extent.
Logan's not being Logan right now.
To be fair, I can't blame WWE for trying him as a babyface because against Miz, he was getting good babyface reactions. So I can't blame them.
Because that's Miz. That's Miz doing that.
I don't know. That's not easy, bro.
Miz did that for him. Come on, let's not joke.
He did, but Logan Paul, I'm saying Logan Paul's a natural asshole. It's still not easy to look like the good guy. You know, it's still not. He did an all right job.
Nah, against Miz, it's easy.
And the match was great. Honestly,
man, Miz is such
that frog splash on the outside table.
Match was very good. I give him
really good for a rookie.
I give him 100% credit for that match. That match was very good. It definitely upped the bar for me in terms of what I think he can do. But Miz is one of them guys.
He is.
He's such a veteran and he's one of the masters at the hill art and just being that type of dude. Anybody could have got it. A little kid could have got it. Cheers from
you don't think Roman Reigns is good enough to get them to dig Logan during that match? I think Roman's so good he'll get us to make it feel like Logan.
I don't know about that
guy
because they're starting to cheer Roman too.
They are, but not during the matches. For the most part, during the matches they'll boo him. But during the segments, I noticed they all got the ones in the air. They're all cheering. They're
starting to love him too.
They're starting to respect him too much.
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. And that's what I mean. Logan will definitely get some of the cheers because Roman knows what he's doing. But
Roman knows how to manipulate it, yo.
But we can tell he's not being himself right now. They need to put him in an element where he can be him.
He's a natural douchebag, that like character-wise.
Him and his brother, they're assholes, bro.
Yeah.
They're natural assholes.
Honestly, they should beat the Usos for the tag champions. That would be more their lane, if you ask me, than the world title shot. Right. When his brother's schedule's freed up and he's not really fighting, I think they should run at the tag titles, yo. Like that'll draw interest.
Right, but that's the only problem, like you just said. Getting the brother will probably be harder to do because he's a little more serious at the boxing than Logan was. So getting him is probably going to be harder to do because if you're going to make them champions, you got to have them champions for a little chunk of time.
Yeah, for a little while, yeah. And I got to say, man, I'm not going to skip this. We got to give my man Sami Zayn his flowers, bro. Sami Zayn.
I think he fits in.
Is there a better mid-carder than Sami Zayn that does more than what you ask of him when it comes to playing the role and being committed to the role? This man is great. I never thought Sami Zayn was this great on the microphone and the acting and the charisma. Sami Zayn is great. They're telling a great story with he's being kind of like they're cowardly. He thinks he's down, but they're kind of using him, but they're kind of letting him in the crew. And he thinks he's so cool because he thinks he's down. And then the little brother, Solo Sikoa, he's showing them love, yo. And Jey Uso doesn't like him. I think Triple H and them are doing such a good job of telling so many different stories with this bloodline. Like,
right. And I think he fits right in for the story because it's like, yo, who else would have fit better at being that type of dude who will just sacrifice himself every single time?
He's taking hits and finishes for them every kid.
And he's okay. He's just okay with it. It fits him.
It's not. That's L, yo.
It definitely fits him, dude. And it's like, yo, man, I just wonder how they're gonna spin him off now.
I feel like they're using him though. They're eventually gonna drop him when they don't feel like he's
gonna spin him off in some type of way. But I just want to know what happens now.
And you know what it kind of reminds me of? I don't know if you remember it. The Nation of Domination was, for the most part, Mark Henry, The Rock, Farouk, and Godfather, of course. But it reminds me of the part in the Nation of Domination where Owen Hart was kind of like the token white guy, and he was the one that the guy that had the technical skill, but he could run his mouth as kind of the whiny, smart ass coward heel. Sammy, in his own way, it kind of feels like that. And it's funny, him and Owen Hart are both Canadians, but dog, Sami Zayn's an MVP caliber player in the bloodline right now. Like his segments are fire, bro, and the things he says are really entertaining. I mean, there's a theory going around that maybe this could lead to him and Kevin Owens, breaking through the bloodline and winning tag champs. But I don't know. I think they should ride out Sammy being their sacrificial lamb for now. I think it's working.
I think they should too.
Yeah.
I think they definitely should too. At
least for now.
At least for like an extra month.
Yeah.
Just let them still do the bidding and all the dirty stuff. But I know when they finally do spin them off, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a hell of a
yeah. It's gonna turn them babyface. I could tell.
It's gonna be
It's gonna turn them organically because they're gonna have sympathy for them.
And maybe that does set up him and KO. I'm not mad at that.
No, I'm not mad at that. Him and KO could light a fire under the tag division. Those guys are that versatile.
I'm not, because KO's been clicking too.
Nah, so, KO's on fire, man. KO's on fire.
He's been clicking too.
I've been meaning to ask you this. I want you to finish what you were gonna say if you were going somewhere with Sami Zayn, but I'll let you finish and ask you this about KO.
KO, this is what I was gonna say, right? Because KO, if the segments he's been doing with Theory,
bro,
I'm like, dude, now Theory's finally gonna have to step up his game because this is someone real now. This is someone real. So
I think Theory felt it. The microphone, he had to step it up, bro.
He has to now. Well, everything he's gonna do with KO, he's gonna have to bring his A game.
Yo, you saw him really snuff him in the nose, bro. That looked. That he said, "I broke your nose, bitch. This is just the beginning."
Yeah, I think that was like the hardest thing of the night.
Yo, that was a hot segment.
And if you put them two in as teams, it's like, yo, they can, if depending on how much time they give them as teams, because I know KO's not a real main event, not a real tag team guy. He's a main event guy more.
Yes.
So depending on how long you give them, they could possibly take that title from Usos
as believable
as best team
from a skill perspective.
It could possibly, you know what I mean, make Usos uncomfortable as the best team in the world. They could.
Yeah.
Depending on how long we can give them.
I've been wanting to ask you this, and I agree with that. I wouldn't be mad at that. Sammy organically turned face. Him and KO have never been face at the same time. It would work, KO's back with his momentum. Let me ask you this. Is KO possibly, objectively, pound for pound, the best talker in wrestling right now? I think it's worth wondering.
Yeah, he actually
he has a case, right?
He actually might be.
Dog.
He actually might be.
KO does not fuck around, bro.
He actually might be.
Let's put it to perspective. I feel like we didn't put it to perspective enough what he did with Stone Cold. I really don't think we gave him his love enough for it, bro. I know Stone Cold did amaze us, and that was amazing. I'll never forget that. But KO set the table and made him look like $1 million and held up his own and kept himself protected in the process.
Yeah.
KO carried those segments verbally when he didn't have Austin there to bounce off of.
Yeah. And he made it, and he made
people want to see it.
Like that was like textbook wrestling, because when he definitely added to Austin actually showing up, Austin actually the glass breaking, all that, because all those promos leading up to that, people wanted to see if we were really gonna see Austin beat him up. People
the segment where he impersonated Austin, the heat he got, the pure heat, bro. Yeah. Go back and watch that if nobody watched that. The pure heat he got, and the wordplay, and the rawness he spit that night, all leading to WrestleMania. Come on, man. He might be. It's tough. There's some great ones. Roman. We always name Roman, but Roman's a great trash talker. Miz, but I think KO. I can't name a bad KO promo. I'm being honest.
And here's the thing with KO, he's always been like that.
Always, yeah. People forget.
He's always been up there in my books. Like he was always, even since the day he came in. There was always maybe two people I could put ahead of him, but now I don't know if there's two.
It's KO.
With this roster, I don't know if I could point out two. Because when he came in, obviously Cena was still going, and Cena was still going. Miz was obviously still around.
Miz is still worth mentioning in that tier. Yeah. He's still he's too consistent not to mention.
Right. And then Roman, he just picked up his steam.
Seth freaking Rollins. I think he's developed into low-key one of the best talkers in the game for sure. I don't know better than Kevin Owens though.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Maybe Roman, maybe Miz.
I don't even know about
the only
I don't
ones.
even know about Roman. I don't even know about Roman.
Roman wasn't giving great promos longer than Kevin Owens. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Kevin Owens is doing this since he came. And everything he says comes from the heart. He says it like he means it. That's what some of these dudes are missing. You know he means it.
Mm-hmm.
The character takes over.
Yep. Right.
He's Kevin Steen.
I think I might give it to him.
Yo, I was thinking about it. I'm like, he might pound for pound be the best talker in wrestling. Period. Because that promo, he lit into Theory. You could tell Theory wasn't swimming the way he could have. Theory got mic skills, but he got Theory, bro. He clearly out promoted him, bro.
I might give it to him. I think I might give it to him. I think I could give him the number one spot comfortably. I think I can.
Are we missing any more good talkers?
In terms of like consistency and everything?
In terms of consistency, number of great promos, I don't know if we're missing anybody.
Sammy
has great promos, but not as much as KO. Trying to think, man. Styles, nah, not really. He's good at promos, but he's not known for promos like KO.
Yeah, I don't think he has enough. I don't think he has
enough. Yeah.
Randy Orton when he's around.
Yeah. But that's a classic all-timer though. But I don't know if he's a better pure trash talker than KO. Even then.
Right. Yeah, I think I can comfortably give it to him.
Yeah, it's official, yo, bro. This man could talk his ass off, yo. It's about time people respect that, yo. He made that Austin thing the main event of WrestleMania Night 1. He sold he talked people into the building, literally.
Yeah. No, he did. He definitely did. And even when he was
And the crazy part is, outside of mic skills, he's great at everything else. KO's nice in the ring, bro.
You know what's messed up too? It's like it's crazy. It's crazy. He kind of has to be forced in like the middle of the pack
because of what's going on right now.
It's crazy because he's someone
bro, he's certified.
He's someone that's good enough to be champion again, bro.
Yeah. He's owed one. I swear to God, he's owed another one. After the Austin stuff, after what he's about to do with Theory, and the crowds, he's kind of like a Steve Austin type character right now. He just goes after anybody. So I think they're doing a good job of reviving him. He's done with the Ezekiel stuff. He's competitive. He's eyeing championships. Yo, he's due. This is why I have one gripe with the titles being unified, because if it wasn't, KO would likely be WWE champion. Either KO or Lashley, and those guys have to wait in the wings. It's kind of pushing some deserving people back. That's my one problem with this. It really is.
He's definitely those guys are definitely good enough.
They've earned it.
They're good enough, yeah. They're good enough to be in that spot at any moment. But it's like they back themselves in the wall though. It's just like
they did.
You gotta do it. You have to do it with these two titles. You have to leave it on Roman because he's just so far ahead. In terms of totality, he's so far ahead of everybody else on the roster. You got to keep it that way. That's the problem.
I don't know, man. They might need to find a way to do, like you said, a triple threat where he doesn't get pinned and he loses one of them. I think he might need to lose one of them to like a KO or someone. I really feel like that's best for business right now.
No, it wouldn't work out.
Why not? He's not getting pinned.
It wouldn't make any sense.
How?
You already put him in a position where he's God.
He is God still.
So if another
he still has the longest reigning championship for 700 plus days with the Universal.
Yeah, but that's the problem. If somebody's gonna dethrone him, it has to be somebody who's approaching his type of level or someone on that level. Those guys just ain't there. As good as they are.
There's no such thing as approaching his level right now.
Has to be though. That's what it gotta be.
Except maybe Cody in his own way. That's the only person approaching on fireness, except the injury got in the way. But there's no on his level right now.
But that's what it gotta be though.
Just split the titles without him being involved in the pin. That's how I feel.
No, because
what's wrong with that? What happens? Nothing happens. He gets his title. Everyone's happy. He still has his record.
It's not a graceful ending. Somebody like him, if it's gonna be ending, it has to be something.
Let's be honest. He only got that title because Vince wanted to have a smoke screen for doing Lesnar and Roman Reigns another time. That's the only reason they put both those titles on the line. That's my problem. They had to make it different. That's the only reason they did it.
But the problem
they didn't do it with no plan.
They did have a plan.
They didn't have a plan.
They did have a plan. Lesnar was the only plan.
They didn't have a plan, bro.
What do you mean? Lesnar was the only player. Who else on the roster was supposed?
I think Randy was supposed to line up with him at SummerSlam.
Randy, that's the thing though. Randy was fooling around in his tag team division. He was fooling around with Riddle. He wasn't Randy at the moment. We
Come
needed
on.
somebody
He's
who was
always Randy.
we needed somebody who was a mega star on their game. Lesnar was the only person. Now we're out.
I think they kind of screwed over Lashley because Lashley never lost it. Lashley was never pinned or submitted. They wrote him off TV because they thought he was going to miss WrestleMania. Then he lost it in the chamber. Why hasn't he got that rematch? He never got beat for it. That's another issue I'm having with the. But Lashley should be WWE champion on that. That's another logical I have with this. Why hasn't he got that addressed?
I would rather Lashley get the match, especially over guys like Logan Paul. You know what I'm saying? I've been asking for Lashley for a while now.
Yeah, but Lashley's too big for Saudi Arabia, man.
But that's the problem.
He's too big for that.
That's the problem. If Lashley's gonna do it, it probably has to be Royal Rumble. Or something.
Yeah. A Survivor Series.
It has to be that. And not only that too, he has to lose that US title to really make it compelling.
Damn. But who's hot enough to really believably be in for that US? Another way they book themselves in the corner.
Here's another problem.
Because no one looks believable with the tear he's on with that US title, yo. Right?
That's another problem. Unless
you might make it title for title, bro. Like
but now we know he's gonna lose.
Nah, kill. Roman's not winning the United States. Come on, man. There's never.
But Lashley's not godlike to get the world title plus the US title.
If they're splitting one of them, he might.
He's not on that level.
Yeah, he is.
I
think Lashley's a certified Hall of Famer.
He is.
Jokes aside.
But if you're gonna have two titles, the two titles are reserved for people like Roman. He's not that. He's not that. He's great, but he's not that. There's a difference.
I don't know.
There's a difference. Come on.
I could see it.
Nah. At the time he was doing the Hurt Business stuff, absolutely.
What's the difference?
Huge difference.
What's the huge difference?
He's all happy-go-lucky right now.
He's not happy-go-lucky. You're forcing it. He's still kicking people's ass with the same intensity. He's not happy-go-lucky.
But it's not the same.
He hasn't changed to who his personality is. In fact, he's a better talker for himself now.
It's not the same.
He really is.
It's not the same quality of segments. The aura is not the same.
And it is the same aura.
The fact that
he's still feared.
The fact that you're even in the US champion title picture.
Wow.
Without MVP. Let's not make a mistake.
He's feeling better with MVP.
Man, stop it, David. There's nothing gonna be like that MVP time.
No, let me be clear. I think he's better with MVP, but let's give the guy some credit. He hasn't missed a step. The work rate is there, the matches are getting better.
Oh, Dave, come on. Dave, come on. They ain't nothing gonna be like those MVP times.
I think like I said, I think MVP that he's better with him. He's definitely better with him.
That's the problem is.
But he hasn't. Don't sit here and try to poke a hole just because he's better with MVP to try to say his work has declined. It hasn't declined. I've been watching it very closely. He's getting more over with the crowd, if anything.
I would even know. It's not about him being over. He's
more over. He's more over as a good guy than he ever was at any other point. I'm surprised to say that.
That's not true.
Yes, he is. I swear to God, he's more over than he was in the Donald Trump the match with the manga. He really is.
That's not what you should be comparing, though, Dave.
What do you mean? He's a good guy. I'm going to compare it to the last time he was a good guy, really.
That's not what you should be comparing, Dave. You should be comparing. You good. What you should be comparing is the Hurt Business Lashley versus this Lashley.
Yeah. I'm doing that too.
Hurt Business Lashley, completely different platform.
Hurt Business Lashley is at the top. But I'm not gonna act like he fell off a cliff. His role switched.
He didn't fall off.
What the hell? He
didn't
literally switched roles, and his crowd reaction didn't die.
He didn't fall off a cliff, but we gotta judge the levels, Dave. We gotta judge the levels. Let's be real here. They effed him up when they took MVP and put him on Omos.
I wouldn't say F, but I would say, well, I agree it was a bad decision. It was a bad decision.
Because MVP made him feel like a prize type of guy.
I agree they should have kept them together.
MVP speaking to him made him feel like a prize type of guy.
It does.
He's a prize.
It makes him feel extraordinary.
He's not really a prize no more.
I wouldn't say that.
It's the truth.
I wouldn't say that at all.
If
old, you watch the match with AJ Styles, if you watch the match with Ciampa, if you watch the match with Miz, you wouldn't.
What about the feel?
What
you're telling me about matches? I'm not judging his matches. It's the feel. The feel is
the feel. You see that segment backstage with Seth Rollins? He pulled up with him with the suit and tie. It was like, yo, you ain't the face of the company. I am the face of Raw. Bro, he still got that big boss feel.
Even him saying that is not as bad. It's not as believable.
Nah, bro. I don't think he's missed a beat. I think you're mixing two arguments. If your argument is that to Hurt Business and MVP, he was better off and that's his best form, I agree with that. But if I don't see a decline in his segments, I don't see a decline in his relevancy, I don't see a decline in his reactions. I seen him adapt from going to number one heel to arguably number one good guy on Raw. It's not his fault they're asking him to bounce back and forth, and he's doing it.
You gotta go back to the root of what you said. The root of what you said is let's use him to take the title off of Lashley.
I think if there's any wrestler,
while he has the US,
I think if there's any good guy who makes the most
on that level to do that.
I just think he should. I just think in general, if this is a good guy that would make sense to take it, he makes more sense than anybody. If we were really to make a list,
he's not on that level to do that.
I'm talking about if he didn't have the US title. I'm talking about in general.
Even that.
Who's a better fit?
There is no fit. This is what I've been trying to say for months, David.
That's bullshit.
There is no fit, right? Why do you think they're doing this Logan Paul thing? There's no fit.
Why? Saudi's the perfect time.
There's really no fits right now, bro. After what Lesnar did, what Drew just did, who else can live up to these things? Nobody else.
Lashley
is a great. I want Lashley to get the match. Don't get me wrong. I want him to get the match because I feel like you put Lashley and Roman, yes, he'll actually threaten the position. But to take the title? No.
See, that's where we disconnect. I really think I think between now and Royal Rumble, the titles have to be split up again. That's where we disconnect.
No, not till WrestleMania.
They have to be.
Not till WrestleMania. They
have to be split up.
Not till
there's too many deserving guys that aren't getting their justice right now.
Guys that they deserve it, yeah. But
Seth Rollins is one of them too. KO's one of them.
Y'all can do that after.
But why are you making it sound like it takes something from Roman so bad?
It's not.
What are we so afraid of it?
What I'm afraid of, we gotta make the ending live up to the hype. These guys don't.
It's not the ending. He still has a championship. His record is record.
That's not how we're doing this, David. Let's be honest.
That's not how we're doing this, dog.
You take one, you take all.
That doesn't make sense, dog. Any other year, he would have lost one of them already.
Nah, this ain't the other years. This is a different roster. We're in a different predicament.
So you think this roster's worse than the one in 2014-15?
It might be.
I can't buy that. I can't buy that.
It might be.
I
It
can't
might
buy
be.
that.
Think about how deep that roster was in 24
How
seasons.
deep was it?
What do you mean? You still had Cena lurking.
Cena, that was like sort of the tail end of Cena.
It was, but he was lurking. He was lurking.
Okay.
You had a prime Daniel Bryan.
Okay.
You had a prime Seth, prime Dean Ambrose.
That was not prime Seth. If anything, they were somewhat just coming into their own.
No, that was around the time when Seth hit him with the chair shot.
They were just coming into their singles identities.
Right.
No way that we can name them. If anything, Roman Reigns and Seth, I can name them for right now. They're made men
name those guys at any time. After the Shield breakup, you can name them at any time. They won't get event players, bro.
But they're better now. They're the best versions of themselves now.
I don't know about Seth being a better version. Let's be honest.
Nah, he's a better performer.
I don't even know if you can say something like that.
He's the best performer he's ever been.
Roman, absolutely.
Bro, everybody believes it, bro, except you.
Roman, absolutely.
Everybody likes what Seth has been doing. Everybody.
I didn't say Seth wasn't performing like
what is going on here?
I didn't say he wasn't performing like a top guy, but I could argue the authority given was far better. Far better.
He wasn't as polished on. He didn't have his voice on the microphone the way he does now. He knows how to carry a crowd on the microphone now way more.
He was still clicking on all cylinders. Let's not mess things up here.
Yeah. That's how great he is. I could argue, but I know he's a more complete performer now, bro. He's a more complete performer.
You can say something like that because Seth then was better in the ring.
No.
He
has, bro. This year alone, he probably has more match of the year candidates than everybody. What he did with Edge, that whole 3 matches he did with Cody.
Oh, come on.
He blows everyone out the water.
He had that 10 times during that era.
Whoa.
That was the most complete Seth. What are you talking about?
He was the most athletic.
Even that match when he hurt Sting was good.
Who else was in that 2014 roster? Ryback?
No, I'm pretty sure.
Ryback was there still.
After the Shield guys, then you still had your Randys. You still had Hunter lurking around. You had Lesnar who was way more active at that time.
I'm talking about, all right, let's narrow that down to guys who were mostly
even Undertaker was still lurking.
Let's narrow it down to mostly full time.
You know what I'm saying? That roster was actually a pretty damn good roster. It's just the PG-ness wasn't allowing it to be what it fully was.
I think this roster's significant.
That's really what it was.
I think if you went through, like, if you counted on an estimate, I think there's like over 100 people. I think on the roster, if you counted 1 through 100, this one has more overall talent from top to bottom. I just really believe that. I obviously those part-timers and Cena is who he is and Randy is who he is. But if we're talking about current era guys like Daniel Bryan, Rollins, and all those guys, I think this era has more current era talented guys. There's so many guys more talented than Ryback, so many guys more talented than Alberto Del Rio, who is still there. There's just so much more talent. Like there's I think from top to bottom, there's still more talent. Now, I think they're in a pickle main event, but they always figure this stuff out. And I think the Logan Paul thing is a step in the right direction. It's a good step in the right direction.
I don't know how you say that. That
is
that you say it's a step.
At this point, it's about.
That's a worse sign.
Nah, it's not.
It is, man. It just shows I'm out.
It's not that you're out. It's that there's still some people that are on the rise that need to build a little more, man. We got Braun Strowman building a little bit. We got Lashley. We got Lashley coming out. We got KO. We can ignore them all we want. We know Braun Strowman ain't playing games this time. The monster of all
How do
monsters.
we know that?
That's his name now.
How do we know that? Because he came
The
back.
monster of all monsters.
He came back and did stuff he already did. How do we know?
Yeah,
How do we know that? I need to see far more in order for me to say
he's
something.
coming, yo. He's coming. Braun's coming. You know, we got some people coming. We gotta let them come a little bit.
I need to see far more.
He just got here. Give him time.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what
I'm trying to give him a few months.
That's what I'm telling you. I need to see what's happening.
They need to build this momentum in his segment.
I need to see how he handles a real feud before I can say something like that.
I agree.
You
but I see he got his body right. His mind seems right. He seems motivated. I see he seems motivated, yo.
And even somebody like him, you know what I mean? I wouldn't mind him getting the match. He can get a match.
Not the worst thing in the world.
He can get a match. You're definitely not touching those titles.
No, not at all.
You know what I mean? Like,
he's just gonna be. It's gonna make Roman look even that greater. He took the Giant out in the path too. Like and that's what it is.
And doing something like that, you gotta make you gotta make the ending graceful. You gotta make it something we're gonna actually remember. And it has to be someone that we actually can get behind. You know what I mean? Somebody who's on that type of plateau.